Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Tuesday. So we're here with Coach Karen.
Wednesday. What?
She says it's not Tuesday. I picked a day out the sky. It's Wednesday. So of course, we're here with Coach Karen all the way from Toronto, Canada. Just like Tuesday, we're here with TJ
Yes,
all
what
the way
fun,
from New
what
York
fun.
City. Yeah. So it's Wednesday, and we're here with our money mindset coach, Coach Karen Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. We want to give a shout out to my partner and co-host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. She's on the road today, filming for a nonprofit. So we just want to give a shout out to her. And I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. But we always get our mind on our money and our money on our mind on Wednesdays, because if you don't have your money on your mind, you won't be able to keep it. So with that, we just want you to sit back, get a pen, because there are always important things to jot down, things that are doable. You know, here at Big Chicks, we don't like convoluted crap.
Nope.
We just want to give it to you straight, no chaser, so that you can get it done. Okay. All right. So move the 7 Up out the way. We're getting ready to take some basic water, and we're gonna get this thing done. How you doing this morning, Coach?
I am fantastic. I'm doing great. This is August. This is the money month. We're talking money all this month. We talk about it here and there, but we're fully focused on money this month. We started off the month on the 5th. We talked about understanding money and how much you need per year. And if you haven't done it before, this is your year. Start it back, go back. And even if you're not accurate, at least have some kind of a ballpoint that you can reference to. And from here in, figure out what the rest of the year is going to hold for you and work towards being able to conquer your year. It is such a relief. I can't tell you that feeling of being able to conquer your year. And if you can only do 3 months, that's fine. But work into 6 months and then a year. Get your year conquered. And that's really covering your budget. That means you know how much money you need for the year. And that's really how much money you need for tithing, if you're like us, how much money you need for savings, investing, and to run your life. So that you, once you get those 4 things out of the way, now you get to focus on doing all the beautiful creative things that you really and truly want to do. And you're not gasping for bread that you don't have them. Okay. So that was what we did on the 5th. And then we talk a little bit about being a lender versus a borrower. So last week we talked a little bit about debt and how it holds you in place, and it kind of strangle and suffocates you and bring about all these different things that happen to you in your life and you're not noticing what it's doing to you. And we want you to get out of that and get out of that feeling of it. I feel, other than school, if you're in debt, it's because you're working towards something. Let's say you bought a home and you're investing, you're becoming a landlord, or you're doing something. That kind of debt is understandable debt, because it's not debt that is pushing you down, it's debt that is lifting you up. You know, you're moving forward, that sort of debt. So you have these goals in mind. But today we're going to talk about, again, still money, but how to stay afloat when you feel you can't. And so that came right after debt, because while you're in debt and you feel like you have no money, you know, I want you to still be afloat to do things. I've spoken to quite a few people who is in debt, and the only thing they're focusing on is paying off the debt. I personally, when I'm counseling people in this area, like to show them how they're going to pay off the debt and how they can save at the same time. I don't want them to do one and not the other, because they're going to get burned out, they're going to get tired, and not going to continue. And I've watched YouTube people, I watch people talk about it, focusing in paying off all her debt. And she said she felt she couldn't even, because not that she can, because she works, but she felt like she couldn't even buy a coffee. And she said over 6 months, she was so desperate and beating herself up on this debt that what she recognized was she ended up having heart palpitations, went to the doctor, because she was so bent on clearing it off, but not living. You understand? She was at this point where she was overdoing it. She stepped over the line. And the doctor said, whatever's stressing you out, you need to drop it right now. I don't care what it is. You know, if you need to buy yourself a chocolate, go do it. If you need to get a coffee, go do it, because this is not good for your health. And she said, you know, he gave her 2 weeks of not doing whatever she was doing. And she said it was such a clearing because she was doing a lot of beating up on herself. So death can take some really bad turns for people. Okay, so when I talk about death, that's why if you notice, I don't really talk about it a lot. But when I do talk about it, I always talk about it in a positive light. How this is what's happening. This is how it's holding you, but here's how you can release. So having said all of that, we're into talking right now about how to stay afloat when you feel you can't, because I want to keep giving you tools. And I'm going to pause right here. Thank you for our replay listeners. Thank you for all the people, the star people who come on and join us every Wednesday. You know, Jill, Brenna, Claudette comes sometimes. I think Maureen, like all you guys, I want to know that I appreciate that you stop by and you're in the conversation and we get to chat. I appreciate you because it's really good when you have people there listening and you know that you're applying it and they've known some of this and some is like highlighters or reminders. All right. So we're going to cover 3 things today. We're going to talk about allowing yourself to let go of all you have. And I've been calling this phrase and saying, I'm calling it mine. I said, if anybody asks you if you're successful, tell them you successfully woke up this morning. Very successful. I've been saying this, and I've been my new track. You successfully woke up this morning, and when you're in the success mind, just like last week when I talked about being a millionaire in a country where the money's low, but you're still a millionaire and acting like one. Same thing applies here. You have to see yourself in this success state because when you do, you operate on a different level. So this is changing your mind from the space you're in at the moment. Let me pause right here. If you're in mud and you feel like you're sinking, you will sink. But if you're in mud and you feel and you start thinking about something else, you would not go down so fast. That's how powerful the mind is. All right. That's how powerful the mind is. All right. And number 2, we're talking about learn to create without anything. That is so powerful because once you create in your mind, you change everything, every outcome that there ever was. And then number 3 is going to talk about spend the money you are about to receive responsibly. We're going to talk about that because that's going to get you back to where you truly want to be, as I talked about in the beginning. And so we started at the top. So allow yourself to let go of all you have, all that's around you. Be empty so you can be filled up. Let go, and that allows you to let go of the things that are pressing you down, or even the things that you have that it's okay for you. You're letting go of it because you're learning to get along. Now we're talking about somebody who is just staying afloat barely. This is the person we're looking after today. We're looking after her. She is barely staying afloat. She gets paid. The money is barely covering anything or anything that she wants covered. Sometimes it's not even enough. And she's in this state where everything is pressing down. She's got debt. She's paying minimum on the debt repayment. She's putting food on the table, but barely. And if you talk to her about saving and tithing, she's like, I want to do it, but there's no more money to do it. That's the kind of girl we're looking after today. And you're going to notice I'm going to start phrasing my thing where we're looking after a specific individual because that lends itself for you to either fit in the category or see parts of it, of yourself in there so you could rectify. This is a good way of you examining because that's what people do in sales and that's how they sell a lot because they identify with a specific person and a specific sometimes gender, and that really helps them to sell to this one person, which is many, but one look alike. So you use one person, but a lot of people look like that person. All right. Hope I was clear there.
So we're building a ideal customer, in other words, or an avatar of, or a profile, a personality.
All those things.
So that if we find ourselves in any parts of that personality, then we can begin to benefit from this conversation.
Exactly.
Okay. Or we can share it with persons who we know have these things going on.
Right. And sometimes all don't apply, but whatever parts apply, that's the part you're going to go look at and rectify. That's all that is. That's what life is about.
Okay,
right?
so today's topic is, say it again.
Today's topic is how to stay afloat when you feel you can't. That's what today's topic is about.
Okay.
Because and and although it's money we're talking about, sometimes it feels that way emotionally, and sometimes it feels that way physically too. So this really works because it's all in the mind. So the first thing we're gonna look at is to allow yourself to let go of any and everything you have. You have to let go and you have to empty you and open you up to the possibilities. Because when you open you up to the possibilities, a lot of great things happen. A lot
Mhm.
of great things happen. The more we hold on to what's happening within us, around us, and trying to be in control of it, the less we are. That's the truth. The less we are. So we want to open and let go. And we really want to just let everything be. Just let go. Just open up yourself to the possibilities. And I'm gonna come back around to that. And then I want you to learn to create without anything. And that means that I talk about that a lot, where you go off and time, spend a lot of time just seeing what could be, just setting up what could be. And here's how powerful our minds is. You can take
Mhm.
newspaper, you can take cardboard, you can take magazine, you can take fabric, you can take anything and create anything that you dreamed about. This is
Mhm.
free. It's in your house. I don't care who you are. You have an old magazine, you got newspaper, you got something that's lying around. And you can turn that thing into the possibility that you want to see. And here's why I love the 3D. People will call it 3D, but here's why I love the touchy feely part. It makes it real because you sit there, it's in your mind, you visualize it. But for some people, they need to know it's real. This is the real touchy part of it, that this could really truly happen. Because I can't tell you how many people I have talked to and tell them things, but because they haven't really seen it happen, they wouldn't
Mhm.
believe that it could happen, that it could be a possibility. I'm going to give you a case in point. I was talking to somebody about a budget, and I was saying to them, did you add on your budget unexpected money? And she said, what? I said, yes. At the bottom of your budget, I want you to simply write unexpected money. I don't want
I
you to
love
put a number. I want you to put a couple of dollar signs. That's it, no number. I want you to leave it open enough so that you're not blocking off how much money will come to you. And I want you to do it. And if it doesn't happen the first month, it's okay. But every month on your budget, I want you to have unexpected money
that.
because it's going to come.
Now, Cecilia says over in the comments, pray and give it to God.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes,
and
yes.
you'll see some of this unexpected money, right?
Yes, you pray and he'll make it happen. But what happened is for the people who haven't there yet to see the prayer, or the people who need to see the activity, I like to give them an activity to do. So you write it there and you leave it alone. You're not looking, you're not trying to fight, you're not looking to see and trying to create that money because it's unexpected. So it's totally, as you just said, no, Cecilia, this is God working here for you because it's gonna happen, which means a client is gonna approach you. You wouldn't even be marketing for that client, or somebody's gonna use your service or buy a product from you, and you didn't expect it. Don't look at it
Mhm.
as, oh my God, I gotta say, because if you're not doing your funnel and nobody is literally on the pipeline and somebody bought something for you, that is unexpected money. And that's where you have to look at.
Mm.
It comes out of the blues. You weren't expecting it. Your budget was, $2,000. You're working for $2,000 net, or you're bringing in enough business for two, and this money came into play. That's unexpected money. You want to have that there. So back to my statement, learn to create without anything and watch what happens. Everything I do, God is in the midst. God knows if He wasn't there, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I have my own plans, and He just stirred up the whole pot. And here, you guys get to know me because He just like moves things around,
Yes, he does. He does do that.
and He planted that seed in me from young and brought me here today. You know, I always wanted to be a teacher. I know I was going to teach. I've taught academics. I've taught sewing, hairdressing, and all sorts of different things I've taught in my lifetime. But my journey wasn't just go to school and become a teacher. He allowed me to go through all these other things so that I would have these experiences as a teacher, as a coach, to help my students and clients. So you want to do that. And number three was then spend the money you're about to receive responsibly. Another coaching client I had on Monday, and I was telling her that I said, if you don't spend the money well, you wouldn't have enough. And she knew this because she had, her business was doing great. She didn't understand how great it was doing. I stepped in, showcased to her it had a really great cash flow happening in the business. But she got so careless with the money that she went through a drought period. I mean, drought, really dry. Like the business, had to be closed. She was without funds. She was like to the wall. And I keep saying to her, this is because you went wild. You weren't stewardess of the money. And that's why it started escaping you. And when it was happening, I did tell her at different spots, but she was so angry with me, she thought, but I said, you were really angry with yourself because you were thinking that I called it into play. No, I saw where you were leaning. And I said, if you tighten the straps here and you tighten the straps there, you will continue to see the progress of this business. But if you get slack with your books, if you get slack with not paying attention, if you decide that you have landed, if you will, and you don't have to do anything, God will come in and show you differently because you're not in a good stewardess of the money that He allow you to receive. This is the other thing people forget. He allow us. He's in charge of everything. I told a friend that the other day, say He's got the whole world in His hand. He allows us to earn and be successful. He wants us to be successful. We're the ones that screws it up. Now, when you screw it up, you don't have to go crying. You just have to admit it, ask for forgiveness, and then fix it. That's
there you go.
I'm not here to condemn anybody or tell you a little stuff. When I tell you things, it's because I want you to see where you're at the moment and self-correct.
And we want you to benefit from some lessons we learned.
Right?
Oh my goodness. I couldn't begin to tell you people. Oh my goodness. You don't even want to hear my testimony. Okay. Because I got some lessons, some bot lessons for you. Yes.
And He will allow those lessons because He's always whispering in our ears. He's always telling us. He's always, letting us know that we're dropping off, and whether it's a friend or yourself saw something and you want to lean here. I mean, He reminds you, and the more you're in conversation with Him, the more you are then hearing a little clearer because I believe He speaks to everybody, but some of us listen and some of us don't, and some of us can't hear because we're too busy in our own doing, so we can't hear what He's saying. And this year is one of those years, where if we're listening, we're going to learn a lot of things. We're going to do a lot of great things. And if we're not listening, we just wouldn't. Going back to the statement I talk about the mud, I used to do ceramics in school. And we went to get clay because in Guyana, we got a lot of good clay. Yeah, really good clay to do all your ceramics work, But we got to go farm it, meaning we got to go where the clay is and we got to go look after it. Then we bring it back to our school and we would treat it, for a couple of days. And then we go. It's a whole process. But anyway, we got clay. And I remember we had to wear these rain boots and go source our clay. And we got our buckets, we got our spade, and we get there. And I remember feeling like I was going down, like I could, because when you dig for the clay, now a lot of water comes and it's sliding, right? But it's an art in how you stand and how you dig and how you retrieve up. But panic set in. So I felt like I was going down. And I keep telling my teacher, said, I'm going down, like it's sliding me down. She goes, first of all, Karen, you're not going to die. It's not that deep. But you got to stop saying it, And those days I didn't work in a mindset. So like, oh, you mean I got to stop saying it, right? As a teenager, she's like, you got to stop saying that you're sliding down. You got to just stop saying it. And I stopped. She says, okay, now put one front foot in front of the other and then hold on to X and then hold on to Y and then keep moving. right? And we all now line up and we keep moving. The minute I stop thinking about me sliding further down, that's when I stop. Why am I referring this? Because that's what we do with money too, you know. When we're sinking and we have no money, because all of our thoughts is about not having money, we don't have enough. We're not going to make it. Life is hard. People did us wrong. This is why this is happening. We don't do anything but slide down. This is all we do. And that's what today's topic about. Understanding that when you're there, if all you do is condemn and concentrate on the downward spiral, it is really hard to get it back.
Wow. Okay. So change our focus,
Mhm.
change our mind,
Mhm.
change our words,
Thank you.
change our life.
Yes. You said it, Terry. We're going to take a moment there to,
Salah, I'll let that sink in, right?
yes.
Change your words, change your money.
Most people say, like habits, people say, well, it takes a while to break the habit. But I agree with Tony Robbins when he say it really don't take a long time to change a habit, but we tell ourselves it take a long time to change a habit. The truth is, when you decide you're going to run, you either get up and run or you say you're going to run. It's just two things. If you ran today and you kept running, then you're running. That's your new habit. But if you keep saying, I'm going to do it, then you most likely say, I'm going to do it rather than doing it. Our job, and we get used to this. If you notice kids, I always go back to kids, eh? And you know, I always talk about our inner child and how when we look at her or him, if you're a guy, and you see, and if you were to really see the possibility we have seen when we were kids, we wouldn't be in this, a lot of us wouldn't be in a lot of predicament we're in. Because look, my granddaughter, you know, if she gonna do something, she just gets up and do it. Apple juice. I mean, if we weren't quick on our feet, she's to the fridge, collect her cup. She's getting apple juice. You understand? We're like, wait a minute, Pino, let's get, I guess in our head, like, what are they getting? Like, the juice is in the fridge. Let's just go. Get the
Nobody's moving. Wait a minute. Let me turn it off.
Right? We're like doing this or doing that. Her mom is on her phone or whatever we're doing. We don't think we can do it right away. But the truth is we can. We are the ones who stop ourselves from doing it. So imagine if you are just afloat and you keep being afloat for the next month or 2 months, that's because that's where you want to be. There's some part of that being afloatness is comforting to you. That's why you're staying there. There's some kind of comfort level is happening. And I know I've had people really be angry with me because they'll say to me, Karen, how can I be comfortable and I don't make enough? What are you telling me? I'm not comfortable. I said, but it's giving you some sort of a comfort level. That's why you're staying there. To get outside of that makes you uncomfortable. Whether it's because you have to ask your boss for more money, whether it means you have to quit your job and find a new job, whether it means that you can't live in the house you're in anymore, or you can't drive the car you have. It's something at that level that is keeping you, that you are willing to stay afloat because the other comforts are being met. And you have to, I can't tell you, but you have to go back and see if it means that you have to be without a car, then that's what it means. But if it means that you need to live in a smaller space but keep your car because it's more convenient for work, then that's what you got to do. But it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to do that because you want to get out of the afloatness. But you have to pick which one works for you. I mean, if I'm guiding the person and we talk about it, of course, I'm going to give reference to which ones make more sense to work faster. And we're going to talk about the short term and the long term. But the truth is, some part of your afloatness is comforting to you. And you don't want to leave it.
Something about being on that lazy river feels okay.
Yep. You don't want to leave it.
Mm.
Don't want to leave it.
You know, we had a conversation about this Monday. Are you comfortable with the words rich, prosperous, abundance, um, wealthy? Are you know, what feelings does this really conjure up?
Right.
So if your business takes off and you find yourself there and you're not ready to receive it, you'll end up, like you said, sabotaging the business
Yes.
or giving it all away, or because for whatever reason you
You're
never
afraid of
really.
success.
Hmm.
People always say that people are afraid of anything, but most people, a lot of people are afraid of success. People don't talk about that a lot, but a lot of people are afraid of success. And when I recognized I was afraid of success years ago, it was like somebody smacked me because I was like, no, that's not true. But I was in a lot of areas, but I didn't recognize it because I've been successful in a lot of different areas. Like,
Hmm.
I was like, how could I be successful? How could I be afraid of it? But then I went back into my language and I really realized it stemmed back from loss. And I was attaching it to what a couple of people had said to me and made me feel like. And that feeling was transferred into me not wanting to be successful. And I heard things like, yeah, when you're successful, I don't think you and I would be friends, or you wouldn't even want to spend time with me. And those people were dear to my heart. So part of me didn't want to lose them. And so that kept me from getting to where successful, yes, but not to where I saw myself, not to where I could be. Because then if I was there, they either gonna suck the life out of me or I wouldn't have them in my life. So it's one or the other. So I wasn't gonna win. I was gonna be by myself. I was gonna be lonely. I wouldn't have anybody if I was that successful. And that I didn't understand. It took me a while to get it. That was what was holding me back. And it happened when somebody else said it to me, right where I live now. And I stopped them in their track and I said, okay, then you wouldn't be in my life. I said, then you wouldn't be in my life. And they didn't know what to say. They walk away because I recognized what was happening. But not right away did I do everything. I did keep sliding. I did keep sliding. I would get this far and I would go right back down. I'd get this far because subconsciously the music was still playing in my head. So subconsciously, I was still being just at the edge, just enough, a little over enough, come right back down, a little over enough. And I started watching my timeline, like I went backwards and I look at my timeline. I look at my prosperity. I look at how I climb, and then I'll watch me slide right back down and be in my afloatness. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Like everything is paid, but there I land. There's enough in the bank account. There's enough to feed. There's enough if I lost my job, maybe 3 months, I'll be fine. But there is nothing else that was happening. So I kept the slide. I'll get there, but then I'll slide right back down. And sometimes I'll slide so far that I am picking every little thing to get back up. Like the climb was so steep.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because of what was playing. And I didn't know it was in the background playing. I didn't recognize. It took me a while to figure out, hey, first of all, every time you are on the brink or you see success in sight or you can touch it, you sabotage yourself in some shape or form and you climb back there. And if you don't do it personally, the people around you, whether they understand it or not, they contribute towards the decline.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I mean, Terry, when this happened, I have to sit down with the conversation in my head. Like I have to sit down and say, this is truly happening. Like really? Like
Mm-hmm.
no. And you know your friend, so I got a book out and I started writing down. And I was I watched the pattern. Like I wrote and I
Yes.
see the pattern. I wrote and I saw the pattern. And then I
Mm.
promised myself the biggest promise that it's not going to happen again. And of course, within a little bit, it happened again. But little by little, the happening becomes less.
Yes.
The happening becomes less. And then when the person said to me, what I just said about, you get into that point where you're not going to need me anymore and you're not going to want me in your life, I said, then you can leave because you're not entrapping me in that way. You're not doing that to me.
Or planting those seeds in our mind, because words are seeds.
Yes.
How you doing, Maureen?
I'm Marie. and then holding me there. And then when I wasn't going to take that on, my daughter got sick. And and that was like the biggest test, because I had just broken through all these barriers, and then she got sick. And she got sick in a way that nobody knew what was wrong with her. And by the time they found out what was wrong with her, we were like 3 months in, and I just started my cleaning company. And I was at, I think I had about 60 clients at the time, and I just had 2 assistants with me, and I wasn't sure how this is going to happen. But my mind said to me, Karen, if you slide backwards, this is a bigger slide, because now there's a bigger company with bigger audience, bigger customers, and this was bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And when I made some decision, I was considered cold and unfeeling, because I'd be there at the hospital, and then I'd leave to conduct business, and then I'll return. But I wasn't about to let the business just be.
Well, how were you going to get back and forth if you didn't have money from the business? I'm just, okay. All right. It is, we've been, okay. So it's.
But this is how the entrapment happened when you're on this.
You know what I mean?
To rectify. So
Yeah.
you now have to be solid in your mind, and everything started coming up, because we got social services here. So I was, the social service worker came to me. She says, Karen, I can give you money. If you signed up, I can get you on a program. You get money monthly. And so this is how the little things, I'm sharing this with you guys because this is how easy you get distracted. Now, I could have gone on welfare. I could have gone an assistant, because I had a child that's in the hospital for maybe, getting on to 6 months. So this is really a cause. But here's why this was never good, because then it would get me comfortable that I could make X amount of money from the government easily, and I don't have to do the work I am doing. Even though it's not the amount that I would make for my company, I still would have more time. But it wasn't true. It was just to see if I would stick to what I said I was about to do. And so I had to turn it down. And she would come every week. She said, I can't believe you're turning down this money. Most people would just take it. She says, why wouldn't you want life to be easier? And I said, would life really be easier if I took the money? Do you really think that? And she said, well, why wouldn't it be? And we become good friends, because I started explaining to her why I couldn't take the money. She said, wow, I can't believe you. That woman would be coming day and night to see if I would take the money. I just wouldn't take it. I never took it. We were there the whole year. I never took the money. I stick to my guns.
Well, you know what? If you need the money, take the money. But if the money also frees you up to run a business, people, you don't just take the money and become complacent.
Exactly.
Because you have something coming in.
Yes. And for me, I knew I couldn't take it, because I was on this journey.
Because you shifted your mind.
Yes. So for me, I couldn't get comfortable. I couldn't take it, because if I took it, then the people around me would say, well, Karen, why are you fighting up anymore? Because you got the money now. So I had to not allow anybody but me to stay firm in what I said I was going to do. I was praying about it. Mm-hmm. I knew God had to step in to save her. And if I believe he's going to help her, then I have to believe he's going to help me get through what I was going through. And I have to believe if I lose client, it was just because I lost them. But I had to stay focused, and I had to keep my employees, focused, because these were new employees. These were people I worked with for a long time. These are people who was now coming on, and I had to be strong and showcase to them that we're going to keep this regardless of.
Rather than, so I see what you're saying. So you would have had to walk away from your business, period. Yes. Mm-hmm. There are going to be some temptations that may try to lure us away from our purpose and our business. And we have got to be committed.
Diligent, consistent, good. It's okay. It's okay for people to offer you money. I love the Shark Tank, and I always admire the people who say, this is what I came for. And although your offer seems wonderful, it's not going to work for my business. That means they understand first. People think it's because they understand their business. No. It's because they understand who they are. Because when you understand who you are, investigating you, research is great, but investigating you and researching who you are will allow your business to grow and shine like nothing else. And I had to examine who I was, and I had to admit to my weaknesses. And I knew that had I taken, and I don't condemn people who took welfare, but I knew that if I had succumbed to that easy money,
Mm-hmm.
then my life would have taken a different turn. And I had experienced some things that I didn't want to go back to. And so, because of those things and the promise I made to myself, I was unwilling to accept that this feels easy scenario is not happening. We will let that great idea work, but not for me. Give it to somebody else because there's things that I set up to do. And because I was forming my decision, the behavior didn't come through me, it come through the person close to me, which is my daughter. So she got sick enough to test me to see if the thing that I say I was going to do, I was going to do it regardless. Because my husband said to me the one day, he says, so you're willing to do this even if she dies? I said, even if she dies, I am willing to do it. I
Wow.
will bury her and then I'll get back to business. I'm not cold, but I'm sticking to my guns. And I'm not allowing the things that they're saying to me or the things that is coming to me to take away from what I say I was going to do. That's how I was so firm on my word. And people, I tell you this is how you have to be on your word. Not in terms of what I do. No. I'm not asking anybody to do that, but for yourself. That's how you know that you've examined you, you've researched you, you've understand who you are as a human being, whose God has made you to be, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can do the thing that you actually say you're going to do because he's going to test you or he's going to allow the test to happen.
Well, the test is going to happen. Okay, so let's review. Hey, Tora, how you doing? Tora is here from Texas. I see you running, girl. You.
Yes.
What size are you now? A 7? I mean, she is running up a storm. She ran 3.5 miles. I know you thought we wasn't looking, but we're
Right.
looking.
I'm a looking.
We see you. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in, Tora. Let's review because we're
Yeah. Let's review. So today we talk about how to stay afloat when you feel you can't. And number one, we talk about allowing yourself to let go of everything around you so you could empty you to really understand who you are. This is so important. And then you learn how to create without anything. Anything that you ever want to do, you need to create it without having anything, because creating from the thin air is what's going to be so powerful for when it actually happens. And then you need to spend the money you're about to receive with the things you have created. Wow.
We are just so excited for you, girl. We're talking about commitment. So look, you got it.
Oh my God. When I saw her, when she first started this journey, I've been from the beginning. Like I'm watching, I'm like, this woman is just amazing me day in, day out.
You guys need to follow Tora and watch her journey. She
amazing.
Girl.
Amazing. We know her
wonderful, a committed woman. She says, here, I needed the message, Coach Karen is speaking this morning. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the review, but when you put that up, I was like 24.
Yes. I'm so proud of her. Every time I see her, I was telling somebody the other day, I said, there's a girl, we know her for over how many years now since from blog, and I'm just loving what she's doing. I just watching her. So I was finishing up saying, then spend the money you're about to receive responsibly, because it's going to come when you commit to all the things I talk about. It's going to happen. The money's going to come. And you're going to have to be responsible for the money. If all you got was $10, you got to be responsible for that $10. When you get $10, $1 goes away to tithes, and $1 for me goes to saving. So I really only need $8. And then out of the $8 is where my taxes and stuff come out from. So I am not making $8. And I always set up myself that way. That way I don't feel that I don't have enough. So I know it means all I have is $5, then it's $5. How many $5 do I need per month to give me my money, and how many of those I need per year so I can have my yearly budget? So I stop being in my afloatness because I don't want to stay there. I've made a promise to myself. and I'm committed to it. So I'm consistently improving me, because when I improve me, my business do very well. But if I don't work upon me, my business is not going to do well.
Wow, there you go. There you go. So, guys, look, get your mind together. Some of us need to watch the replay. And those of you who are watching on the replay, we just want to say thank you. Coach, we really appreciate it. You always bring such revelation when you come. such good nuggets about, our thoughts and getting our thoughts under control and being committed to our business.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, especially right now. It's so easy to just go, whatever.
Exactly. Because we all are feeling the pressure of the world. Everything that's happening to everybody, it's on our shoulders. We feel it in different shapes and forms. Even if we don't understand, we are feeling the pressure of the world right now.
But we have a superpower.
Yeah. Yeah, we got God to call upon.
And when we have our mind straight, our money gets straight. Guys, we want to thank you, Coach. Thank you again. I want you to follow Coach Karen. She is over on Profits in Daily. And I'm going to put that up so you know what I'm talking about. Because my accent is interfering, because it's hard to say profits with an S.
In daily. Yeah.
I want people to get that. So you can follow her on Facebook. And she has a private group that you can join and get even more nuggets and get into deeper conversations about your money, your business money, and your personal finances.
And next week, so a little plug, next week I'm changing the group around. The name is not changing, but I'm really going to develop it and turn it into my free membership group. That's really what it's going to turn into, because I got a lot of membership groups that's coming up, but this would be the free part of it. And it really going to teach you how to research and look after finding you, so that you can find out anything you want to find out about your business. So.
Okay, so look for Coach Karen at Profits in Daily.
Yes.
I want to say to those of you who are not familiar with BizChicks, if you desire to join BizChicks, and we do have a private group, you can text Biz to 33777, and it'll prompt you through the different questions so that you can join the group. We'd love to have you and love to have you be a part. We just want to give a shout out to all of those watching today and to thank you again for joining the conversation. We have a comment here. Let's see here. Tora says, going to catch the beginning after the live. Thanks, ladies, for staying consistent all these years. You too.
Yes.
Good girl. We love you, Tora.
Yes.
Okay. And we want to give a shout out to Maureen and to Cecilia and to Angela, who was watching on the watch party. We just want to say thank you all for tuning in. If I missed somebody, please forgive me. I'm looking for your name here in the chat. So I just want to say thank you again, and be sure to share this out to your friends. We'd love for them to know about BizChicks and be a part, and to know about Coach Karen and follow her. So tomorrow's Thursday. We'll be here with Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends, because if you don't have your health, you can't keep your wealth. Yes. And on Friday, we will be talking tech and English for business. Have a great day, and don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Bye-bye.